What's up, fellas? Welcome to another video. In today's video, we're going to be comparing the ROG Ally and the Steam Deck. We're going to be taking a look at the design. We're going to be taking a look at the operating system, which is Linux versus Windows. We're also going to be taking a look at game performance, and at the end, I'll give you guys my final impression. And yes, guys, I am going to actually pick one winner out of these two. So if that's something you guys were interested in, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's get right into today's video. So let's start off with the design. As you can see here, the ROG Ally has your traditional Xbox controllers where the analog stick is here and here. But over here, you have your start select button here. You have your Emerald Crate button here. You have your XAYB buttons here and your speakers popping out. And these buttons are pretty big, so they're hard to miss when you're trying to push them. Taking a look at the top, you have your headphone jack here, micro SD card. You do have the XG mobile plug-in here and the USB-C here. You have a volume rocker and you have a power button, which also has a fingerprint scanner. You have your L1, R1, RT, and LT button here. The triggers, I would say, not my favorites. I do prefer the Steam Deck triggers, but we'll get to that in a bit. I love the little details that goes in the ROG Ally, like all the stripes here. And also, if you look at the bottom, nothing here. But again, taking a look at the back, you see this stripe here with this glow. I think it's really awesome. And then you have your customizable buttons here and a little grip. And I do have to say, this feels very comfortable in the hand. This here gives you a pretty good grip when you hold in this device in gaming. It's really lightweight as well, so I really appreciate that. I don't like the white because it does get dirty. I'm concerned in the long run that this is gonna look really filthy, but again, I'm gonna try my best to keep it clean as much as I can. But yeah, that's the ROG Ally. Taking a look at the Steam Deck here, you have your PlayStation like button layout here and looking at the D-pad. So I prefer this D-pad, but I don't like the placement of the D-pad because again, trying to play fighting games, you do get used to it, but it does feel a little weird. You have your XAYB button here and you have your trackpad here. This I feel like is a winner. The fact that the ROG Ally doesn't have this, and again we'll get to the operating system here and I'll showcase why I think this is absolutely incredible. You have your Steam buttons here and your front facing speakers here. Looking at the top, you have your L1, R1, L2, R2 buttons here. You have your volume rocker here. You have your headphone jack here. You have a vent here for the fan, USB-C, and power right here. At the bottom, you have your micro SD card here. Taking a look at the back, you do have a vent here for the fan and then customizable 4 buttons here that you can mess around with. I do have to say, when it comes to the grip of how this feels, I love the way the Steam Deck feels. It definitely feels more comfortable in the hand. And I do have to say, playing long gaming session, I prefer the feel of this over the ROG Ally. So when it comes to design, I would have to say the winner here is the Steam Deck. I do love the trackpad. I really miss it on the ROG Ally. And then when it comes to being comfortable, I do think the Steam Deck feels more comfortable than the ROG Ally. Alright, so let's talk about the operating system here and the UI. As you can see here, we have Windows running on the ROG Ally. And we have something called Emerald Crate. So if you guys don't know what this is Asus overlay over Windows, trying to give it some support because Windows on handheld definitely needs that support. I can't tell you guys how many buggy issues I've run into trying to use this device to game or just even to navigate and do normal stuff like I would do on computers. So Asus here with Emerald Crate is trying their best to kind of fill that void. But taking a look at Emerald Crate, you do have stuff like real-time monitor where you can monitor your stats and stuff like that. Pushing this button here brings to you, again, you can do turbo mode. You can change the different operating system to performance turbo and all of that. You do have control mode, which gives you access to either using the cursor or just the gamepad. For instance, if we do this, we have access to the cursor with the right analog stick to navigate like that. So again, really cool stuff here to just make the painful Windows experience on the handheld more doable. So if you push this button here, it gives you more options as well. We're going to open it here. There's something called Game Library that gives you the latest games that you've played here, and you can add to that if that's something you choose, which I think is very needed. Again, just trying to simplify the process of actually using a Windows device for a handheld gaming device. So if we go here to settings, there's different customization. You can edit stuff to the command center here, and you can add some different things. Again, a lot of options to choose from here. So again, making this easier, you can come here and you can access different launches, which I think is a huge step over the deck, right? Just being able to get different launches here as well instead of having to do the whole workaround using SteamOS and Linux. But yeah, just want to highlight this operating system here. All right, so let's go to the Steam Deck's operating system here, and you have something called SteamOS and also desktop mode as well. But here we'll open up SteamOS here, and with SteamOS, you have access to home, you have access to your library, you can see games that you have installed. So I really appreciate SteamOS because it gives us like a custom UI compared to where Windows is all over the place, and it's very responsive and very snappy. I don't experience like any lag or any just stuff freezing like it does on the ROG Ally. So this is a better experience. Everything's right here. Again, like a console, you have access to your friends list, so you can come here, see who's playing, talk with them, chat with them. Again, just very console-like experience. And then if you want more of a desktop experience, you can come to power here and you can switch to desktop. And then this gives you a Linux operating system as well. So I really enjoy this. And I think for anyone who's just getting into the handheld PC gaming race, this is a simple way, especially if they're coming from consoles. This is a simple way to just get right into gaming without the headache that Windows provides as a handheld gaming operating system. I love this. It's really easy to navigate and everything's right there when you need it. So when it comes to operating system, I do have to give this to the Steam Deck as well. I do love SteamOS and I do love Linux compared to the jagginess and the unresponsiveness of Windows and the ROG Ally. Shout outs to Asus and Emerald Crate for trying to save Windows when it comes to handheld gaming, but this is just a lot of buggy issues I've experienced. There are games that just freeze, and as I'm doing something, the Emerald Crate is not responsive. It is a headache. And I think this is Windows' fault. And Windows, I hope for the next update, just really focus on making handheld gaming an enjoyable experience here. But this, I would have to say, does go to the Steam Deck when it comes to OS and operating systems. But I would say where the ROG Ally comes in and stands out and shine is the performance of this device. This device is a beast. I'm going to showcase this off running the game like a plague tale. I'm going to showcase it off running on this device compared to the Steam Deck. I'm going to load up the same spot where I am so you guys can see what I mean by this is a powerhouse when it comes to performance. All right, so we're going to open this game up right here. We're going to go to Burden of Blood, and we're just going to continue where we left off here. And I do have to give you guys a disclaimer. This is a difficult spot, so you're going to see me run around. I'm probably going to die a lot. But again, I just want to show you the difference when it comes to performance here. All right, so we're going to switch the resolution here. We're going to go to graphics, and we're going to switch this to 1080p, and we're going to hit apply. And you'll see that my settings here is going to be the same, a medium preset all the way down. I'm going to do the same thing on the Steam Deck, but I'm going to show you guys the difference between this device having a 1080p display compared to Steam Deck 720p display. So again, this is 1080p, and watch my FPS here. 1080p at medium graphical settings. I'm running this game at 44 FPS here. I'll switch it to 720p to show you guys how much more performance boost that is with the FPS. And again, this is running turbo mode, but as you can see here, high 30s, sometimes hitting 40s, 42 right there, FPS count. It does drop, but it sticks to, I would say, 40 FPS most of the time, running this game at 1080p here. Again, I'm going to keep dying because this is a difficult spot, but just want to showcase that. High 30s, right? You guys are seeing that there. 40s as well. So yeah, this is running this game in 1080. Now, let me show you what happens when I switch this to 720p, and this is what we're going to be running Steam Deck on as well. So here we go, 720p, apply, and we're going to hit this, and so watch the FPS boost that this is going to get, right? So again, 43, 45, 47, right? I died again, so it's hitting like 50s, 57. Let's restart. 60 FPS right here, 720p, right? Again, medium graphical setting preset. We're going to do the same for Steam Deck, and I'm going to showcase the FPS that you get there when you're playing this game, the same preset, right? So again, seeing here 50. Now let's open this same game up, same spot on the deck. All right, so this is the same spot on deck. So we're gonna go to settings, show you guys that when it comes to graphics and preset, it's 720p. And you see here we have the medium preset as well going all the way down. And again, look at that FPS count there. And I'm showing you guys that I'm not locking this as well. As you can see here, 60. But look at the FPS difference. Again, we're getting 30 FPS at 720p, whereas 720p on the ROG Ally, this was hitting, 50, sometimes 60 FPS. And at 1080p, this was hitting 40 FPS, high 30s. So again, this is what I mean by powerhouse when it comes to game performance. And I've tried this with Cyberpunk and Spider-Man as well, and it just performs so much better than the Steam Deck. So again, just want to highlight this, like you've seen here, 30 FPS as well. And this is same preset as you saw with the same game, same spot running on the ROG Ally. But yeah, it's a powerhouse. Sorry about this gory scene. So again, 30 FPS here is 720p. So my final impression, which one should you get? And honestly speaking, I have to say, depends what type of gamer that you are. For instance, if you love SteamOS and Linux, I would definitely say go with the Steam Deck. If you're a Windows guy and you're familiar with the way Windows operate, and you don't mind the jagginess of Windows when it comes to handheld gaming, definitely take a look at the ROG Ally. Another thing is when it comes to pricing, if you're on a budget, definitely consider the Steam Deck. Again, for $399, you can get the 64 gig. And spec wise, everything remains the same, just the storage space, and you can easily just get an SSD and upgrade it for cheap now. So again, $400 is a good entry level to this. So that alone might be a reason why you might actually consider the Steam Deck. I have to say, if you're interested in emulating your games, both of these do a great job running emulation. But I do have to say, when it comes to performance, I've tried the PlayStation 3 emulation on here, and those high demanding games like God of War, the ROG Ally does a better job with performance of emulation than the Steam Deck does. But I do have to say they're both great devices when it comes to emulation. Then the last thing is, if you're looking for a device to play the latest AAA games, the best graphical settings and best refresh rate, the ROG Ally is the one to get for sure. So an issue that I'm having on my deck, it seems like lately the latest AAA games have just been struggling to run on the deck, and that extra spec that the ROG Ally provides just give it enough boost to run pretty well on a handheld. So I told you guys in the beginning of this video, I'm actually going to choose a winner when it comes to this. And my winner is ROG Ally. That's going to be my daily driver, because I do care about playing the latest bangers on the go. And the ROG Ally is the best device right now for me that does that. So again, I hope this video was clear. Let me know if it's helpful in the comments below. Which one are you guys going to choose? Do you guys own both of them? How has the experience been? All right, appreciate you guys. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Till next time, peace out.